You were probably getting all that injury information that you were going to give us, right?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Well, in that case, how's Kevin King?
You know, he's doing all right. Certainly we're still kind of evaluating that as well, and I'll have more information for you on Wednesday.
Did it happen when the receiver kind of jumped in?
No, it happened earlier, so I think that was just the final straw, I guess, if you will. He was kind of playing out there, and I thought Kevin played a really good game. You know, he was playing a lot of that game or part of that game with basically one arm. So I thought he competed well and was playing really, really well. I thought he triggered and was physical when people caught balls. When there were a couple of short passes thrown right in front of him. I want to say maybe it was the first or second play of the game where he triggered, and he did it later on as well. So I was happy with how he was playing, and it's unfortunate that happened.
And I get that it's next man up, that the standard doesn't change, but are you concerned about what your depth is in your secondary right now, given the situation?
Yeah, I think absolutely. Anytime you're losing starters, that's never fun. So, but it is the next man up, and we're fortunate that we've got other guys here that we feel very, very confident in, and they're going to have to, prove us right.
Sticking with the corners, it looks like you had Stokes against Chase for most of the game. What was the thinking there, and how did you think he did against him?
Yeah, I thought Stokes competed at the highest level. I loved how he challenged Chase, and he was in great position on every throw that he had on him. And you got to give the Bengals credit. You got to give Jamar a lot of credit. That catch that he made in overtime was on the sidelines. I mean, there's very few guys that are going to make that play. I also think, Burrow did a nice job on one of the third downs where he threw a back shoulder, and that's just one of those plays where, he's in perfect position, and you got to chalk it up to the offense in that situation for their execution. I've always told our guys, hey, there's no defense for the perfect ball, and that was the perfect ball, and the guy adjusted on the fly. And the back shoulder ball is one of the most difficult throws to stop in all of football. But I thought, Stokes, he just brings it every time he comes out on the field, every play. He's got a short memory, whether it's good or bad, and I just love how he's challenging these receivers. He's making the offense earn everything they get.
I've been able to take a look at what's happened on the red zone on both sides of the ball. I mean, the numbers are dramatically flipped from a year ago.
Yeah, no, we absolutely got to be better. I think, speaking from an offensive standpoint, I've got to do a much better job of putting our guys in a better position. I didn't like a couple of the sequences, just some of the play calls for the situations. When you're in that kind of mode, when the defense knows you want to run the football, I think we're best when we have the ability to get to a pass if need be, and have some of those plays where you're trying to get the best look possible in terms of having multiple options on the play. So it starts with me, and then when the plays are there, then we have to execute a little bit better. And I thought certainly there were a couple plays that we just got to go out there and do a better job. And I think defensively, it really comes down to making sure that everybody is doing their job. I've got no issue with what we called down there, but we didn't execute. And you can't have 9 guys doing their job. If 2 guys aren't doing their job, then it's going to be tough to stop anybody. So we need all 11 on the same page and make sure that communication's on point, and then we got to go out there and execute.
Matt, on the offensive side, to go back to the offensive side of that for you, you always talk about how you do it too. You see things that teams are successful with, and if you copy them or your defensive guys are trying to figure out ways to stop them. You guys were the best in the business last year offensively in the red zone. What's the challenge for you and Nathaniel to kind of, get more creative, or what's your goal?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I think one of the challenges, anytime you're one of the top teams, is a lot of people are studying what you're doing. So certainly you want to make sure you keep them off balance. You have counters to things that you've shown or put on tape, and I have a lot of confidence in our guys, and certainly the stuff that we're asking them or that are in the plan, and I just got to make sure I dial those plays up because I feel like we definitely missed a few opportunities, and I think we had plays that definitely would have had a chance to be successful, and it just comes down to me dialing them up.
Matt, you touched on it quickly last night about Mercedes and that screen pass, but what kind of jolt do you think that gave you guys with him and the way he finished that play?
Oh yeah, I think you can see how excited the guys get when he touches the football. He had one earlier in the game on the keeper too, and every time we go to Sadie's in the pass game, even though we don't do it a ton, he seems to deliver, and that was a pretty big moment in the game, taking that screen pass 20 yards or whatever it was, and his ability to just be elusive. I always call him sweet feet when he gets going like that. He made a guy miss and then broke 2 tackles and was physical, and you could feel it, and it definitely brings a lot of juice to our sideline and to our team.
Matt, there was a sequence defensively in the first half where I'm pretty sure the four-man rush was Lowry, Slayton, Garvin, and Hamilton, and those guys did the job. Like they really made things difficult on Burrow. There was a sack in there too. I mean, Clark and Preston and Rashawn were all resting at that point. What does that mean for your defense when that type of unit can make an impact?
Yeah, I think that's big. Certainly, I think our coaches have done a really nice job of everybody that's getting a helmet is out there contributing in some form, whether it's on special teams. I think we've done a better job up front in terms of our D-line, outside backers, of rotating those guys through so that our starters can stay fresh and get great effort on every play. I thought, all in all, our defense did an outstanding job yesterday. I thought that was one of the more complete performances. Certainly there's a couple plays that you'd definitely like to have back, but again, you got to give credit where credit's due, and I thought the Bengals did an outstanding job of making a few plays. And but I thought just the consistency that we showed and the resiliency that we showed defensively was I want to say our best performance of the year.
I think Aaron Rodgers said last night about Devondre Campbell, like how was he on a guy on the street? I feel like I've heard you say it as well. But do you know the answer? How was that guy not signed until June?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure glad he wasn't for our sake. Dre has been outstanding. He's been so consistent, making plays, being physical. He's flying around the field. He's wearing the green dot, so he's communicating with everybody. I think he's done an outstanding job with that, and that's a new role for him too. And that I don't think you can discount how tough of a transition that can be for most guys. And I think that he has gotten better and better each and every week. And just brings such great leadership to our team. I think our guys are really getting to know him just as a person. I think that he's a great person. I had a great conversation on the plane with him last night, and just really, really glad he's a part of our football team.
You were with him in Atlanta, right?
I was.
What was he like then? What was his role then? And what can you share anything about the conversation on the plane last night?
Yeah, no, we were just talking about just his experience here, and he had nothing but great things to say. I think it's a little bit different role than he played in Atlanta. Certainly the scheme's much different. He was our will linebacker in Atlanta, and he's got, I don't want to say more freedom, but there is a little bit more freedom in terms of his responsibilities here. And he's going out there and he's playing at a really high level, and he's bringing a lot of energy and I think confidence to our defense. And like I said, I think he is as good of a player he is. He's even a better person. And I think we were talking about it as a staff earlier today. Just how much fun he is to be around, and I know Joe and KO love coaching them, and we're lucky we have a guy like that.
How much more comfortable are you getting AJ involved in the receiving game this year, and how much have you seen his growth in that area?
Oh, man. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I think he came in, and although he didn't have the notoriety for having hands, I think we found out pretty early, and when we first got him a year ago, that, hey, here's a big guy that can be a threat out of the backfield. And he continues to make big-time plays for us, man. And then, he's such a load to tackle, and certainly you get him in the secondary. There's not too many corners or safeties that want to tackle that guy. So he's done an outstanding job. We got to continue to find ways to get him the ball. I think anytime you have playmakers like him, Devontae, Aaron Jones, certainly, we got, you'd love to get Allen and Bobby and, Randall and all our other guys the necessary touches. It is a good problem to have, but certainly, I leaving last night just thinking like, man, I wish we could have got him the ball more than 12 times. I think he had, 12 touches for like 78 yards or whatever it was. So he's a guy that we're going to have to continue to feed, and I think his growth has been outstanding, just really in all phases. And I love his attitude, his approach, certainly. I think it's tough for any back when you're the lead dog in college and you're used to getting the bulk of the carries or the bulk of the touches, and you come to this level and it doesn't necessarily work out that way. That can be tough on a lot of guys, but I think he's done just such a great job of staying positive, staying into it. I think Ben Sermons does an outstanding job with everybody in that room, and again, he's another guy that we're really lucky to have.
Did you put more on Yash's plate this week? It seemed like maybe, I certainly didn't study it a lot, but it looked like he had more one-on-one opportunities on Sunday than he had the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I thought Yash did an outstanding job too. I know we had the one sack right there in the 2-minute, and then one later in the game. But I thought that was a tough draw for him. But I think Yash has played outstanding. He's done an excellent job. I really thought our front as a whole did a pretty good job. Now, is there moments where we can be better? Absolutely, there is. But I thought, by and large, especially in the pass game, I think they did an outstanding job. Because the one sack, kind of the play was just starting to go off schedule, and that's one where you either can drop it down to your check down, or you can try to get out, escape, and create a big play. And Aaron has done such a great job of that throughout the course of his career. It's hard to fault him in that situation, especially with the amount of time on the clock. I mean, I want to say, was it there like 30 seconds, 34 seconds? So, it was one of those that I think that was well worth the risk to try to escape the pocket and make a big play.
Matt, you and other head coaches always talk about how it's best to correct off of a win when you have a lot to work on, but you still won the game. Does that apply even more so to Mason? And what did you see as you looked through the kicks that he missed?
Yeah, no, I think there's just some things that we absolutely need to clean up just from an operations standpoint. I don't think you can't put all of that on Mason. I thought there's some areas that we have to make sure we get corrected, and we will.
So I understand you don't want to throw guys under the bus.
I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, so I'm not going to expand on that. Sorry. You're going to have to watch the tape, evaluate it yourself, and come up with your own conclusions there.
I look forward to that. Is there any chance that he was speeding up his operation because of what had been going on in previous weeks, or is that not a factor?
No, I don't believe so. No.
Hey, Matt, was Elton close at all? Did you take it right up to the game, or were you pretty sure he wasn't going to go at the end of the week?
Yeah, I mean, that was that was my gut. We were going to give him up to game time, but certainly we had the plan. If he was able to go, that was going to be a bonus. But Elton's doing everything in his power to be out there. I know this is eating at him not being out there with the guys, and we'll take him through the week this week and see where he's at. It was good, I think, to get him back, acclimated with some practice. And, certainly the test that we have this week is going to be, it's a top 5 defense that we're going against, one of the best defenses in the league. And I think they're coming in with a lot of momentum right now, just winning the last 2 games. And it's going to be a good old-fashioned physical football game, true to the NFC North.
So if you had gotten him back, since you didn't do it, you could tell us what you would have done. Would you put him at center, or would you put him at
Nah, I can't tell you that.
Matt, what does that say about his toughness, though? Just that, he did finish the Detroit game when he got hurt, but obviously this injury is significant enough that he's been out for multiple weeks now.
Yeah, I think, he's as tough as they come, and really that whole group is very, very tough, and that's what you want from your big guys, right? It's what you want from everybody, but especially the guys up front. So hopefully, he'll continue to recover and get healthy, and he'll be able to go. But again, that's kind of a wait and see.
Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but the PUP practice window for David would open up next week after this game?
Yeah, is that week 6?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the 6th game here.
Yeah.
Do you have a feeling for if you might have a chance of getting him going here pretty quickly, or do you think he's still got a ways to go?
Yeah, no, we've been having ongoing conversations, but I'm going to keep those, to us right now. And I know David he's chomping at the bit to get back out there too, and he's doing everything he can. But certainly, it's not one of those decisions that you take lightly. He's coming off a pretty significant injury, and you want to make sure that not only is obviously first and foremost that he's healthy and he's not at a greater risk of re-injury, but also I think there's a lot of just that confidence factor, being out there and being able to go out there and play fast, physical, and free of any type of worry of injury or whatnot, so you can go out there and play your best ball.
So since I have a streak of things that you don't want to talk about that I've asked, is there anything that we haven't asked you that you've been itching to talk about?
Not really.
Matt, I saw a tweet in a stat that for you, you're tied for number 1 for fewest games to 30 regular season wins. It only took you 37. Do you ever take a step back and just kind of think about this 3-year tenure that you've had with the Packers, or is it kind of just not in your mind at all?
Yeah, no, it's on to the next game, and I will say this: it's a credit to everybody in that locker room, to the coaches, to Goody, everybody in this organization that has given us such a great football team to go out there and compete.
All right, let's go to Zoom. Sarah, go ahead.
Coach, I know the old adage is Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's, but do you need to maybe lean into the X's and O's a little bit more with the red zone struggles on offense? Seems, I'm not going to say it's stayed, but it seems like there's a lot of creativity when you're looking around the league. It's at the 20. It looks like you guys have really kind of butt your head against the wall a little bit.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think we have a lot of creativity within our plan. I just got to dial them up, and obviously when you're not converting in the red zone, you got to look at everything, and it's definitely not up to our standard, and that starts with me.
Ryan Wood.
Speaking of creativity, you did change things up with your field goal protect this week. Were the issues that you had consistent with what has been going on the past couple weeks, or did you feel like you got those cleaned up and these were new issues?
Yeah, I would say we got some of it cleaned up. But certainly there's some more to clean up. I thought we did a better job this last week of using a different snap count, which I thought definitely helped us alleviate that jump that the field goal block team was getting. But there's some other things that we got to tweak, and we'll look at those this week.
And last one, Tom Silverstein.
Matt, can you explain what happened at the end of the half again about the rush where you didn't rush 4 guys? I didn't quite understand what happened there. Why didn't all 4 guys rush that?
Yeah, so that a lot of things that go on defensively. There's tips and tells. Certainly there's some checks that you may hear. Our guys, and this goes around the league, everybody spends a good amount of time looking at TV copies, trying to hear things that maybe an offense is saying that can give you some insight onto what they're doing. And if you know what a team's doing, you have a much better chance of stopping it. So our guys thought they heard something that we actually have in our offense that, I don't know if Cincinnati has in their offense or not in terms of the same words for the same play. So our guys thought they heard that, and they were playing that play. And unfortunately, they guessed wrong, and it definitely hurt us in a big way, because certainly you never want to give up a 70-yard touchdown completion in that type of situation. And that was obviously a huge play in the game, just not only from a momentum perspective, but just allowing them to, have an opportunity to take the lead there potentially in the third quarter.